Hey guys, Josh Harris here. I'm working on my backyard gardens today, so I wanted to give an update on that and also introduce you to a new challenge that I'm putting myself through, and I'm calling it the Grown and Gathered Challenge. For the entire month of February, my goal is to not go to the store to buy any food, but to get all my food from either what I've grown in my garden or foraged or hunted or fished out in nature. And one of the reasons I'm putting myself through this challenge is I love the experience of being connected with the food that I eat. I find that we live in a day and age when it's so easy to go through life completely disconnected from our food. And when we have that connection, that personal connection, I find that there's a lot more enjoyment and pleasure in food. A vegetable you grow in your garden is always going to taste better than one you buy at the store. A fish that you catch is going to taste better than one that you buy at the market. And so I just want to challenge myself and inspire others to be more connected with the food that we eat. So come along now, I'm going to show you what I've been doing with my gardens. So this is the garden bed that my kids planted in an earlier video, and we just mulched with some hay, these bigger plants that we planted. And then over here we have some beets coming up, little baby beet plants, and then the green beans that Ellie planted are coming up nicely. And then also these are the carrots that Simeon planted. So the kids are really happy with this garden bed. And then next door I have a bed full of arugula, and these were just some leftover seeds I had, and I threw them in here and they've come up really nicely. So it's a nice little salad garden. And then over here we just planted some sweet peas, and we're using these tomato trellises so that they can grow up on those. And then over here we planted a bunch of radishes. The seeds were just planted today, so in about 25 days those should be ready. Over here we have our mature papaya tree. There's a lot of papayas growing on this. I've been eating a few of these as they ripen, and so I'm going to definitely take advantage of that during the 1 month challenge. And then down here, these are just a couple things I pulled out of my compost pile. Another little papaya tree. The transplant hit it pretty good, but there's some new life coming on it, so that one should make it. And then have a pineapple plant from my compost pile. Then next door to that, try to get out of the shadow, I got an herb garden. We got chives, a couple different kinds of basil, rosemary, sage, cilantro, and some tarragon. And then next door is a flower garden, a pollinator garden that my wife and kids just planted today. Over next to one of my compost bins I have a banana tree, and there's some bananas growing on here. And I actually got this tree years ago. I did a bee removal job, and the lady I did the bee removal job for gave me a banana tree as a gift. Here's a little pup coming up. And I planted it in my backyard, and I've transplanted pups and moved it around a few times, but it's still producing fruit. And so that was definitely a good gift for doing that bee removal. Over here is my salad garden. I just planted a bunch of different salad varieties in here. They're seeds, and so in the next few weeks we should have some small lettuce coming up, make some salads. And then next to these I got my chickens. We just have 2 hens, and that one is a goofy looking one, but they've been laying pretty good. We've been getting usually 2 eggs a day, and so they're going to help me get through this 1 month challenge for sure. Right next to the chicken coop I have this jackfruit tree that I planted probably 1.5 years ago. It was a very small tree when I got it, and my kids just noticed today there's some little baby jackfruits starting to grow. They're so cute. I don't know if these will stay on or not, but we're excited to see this tree thriving and growing. Right next to the chicken coop, I think some of the chicken manure is helping it out with nutrients. And then over on the other side I have a couple moringa trees. These have some pods growing, and moringa just has so many uses and so much nutrition. Over against my garage, I got a couple blueberry plants that are sort of neglected, but I do see they're starting to bud. So hopefully we'll get a few blueberries off some of these plants that I got laying around the yard come springtime. On my side yard, I got a Barbados cherry tree. It's not really blooming during the winter, but we usually get some cherries off this. And then I just planted a few banana tree pups that were growing off my main tree in this little garden area, this little bed. I used to have a peach tree in this one, but it died, and so it got replaced with bananas. And then over here we have a loquat tree with some loquats growing, and these are usually ready about March. We also have some rabbits, but these are not for eating. These are my daughter's pets, so they are off limits for sure. I do have one bee colony in my backyard. Some activity here at the entrance. It's a cool morning, so there's not a lot going on, but see some pollen coming in. But most of my bees are at out yards, but I do keep this one here. Well, that's about it for what I have going on in my yard right now, but stay tuned for the month of February. I'm going to try to post a video every day and show you my progress on the Grown and Gather Challenge.